Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to take a closer look at the recent announcement by the Israeli ministry, confirming that 60,000 reservists will be called up for the planned occupation of Gaza City. This is not just a number, but a major development that reflects the scale of military involvement expected in the coming days. The decision has both visible and hidden dimensions, and in order to understand it better, we can break it down the way we usually do with reviews. Looking at the exterior, interior performance, safety aspects, unique features, the price that comes with it, and finally, what it all means in conclusion. On the exterior, what we see first is a powerful display of military readiness. Mobilizing 60,000 reservists presents an image of strength, resilience, and determination to carry out a large-scale ground operation in one of the most challenging environments in the region. This exterior layer is important because it communicates not just to the Israeli public, but to the international community, that Israel is preparing for a long and possibly costly engagement. The sight of thousands of soldiers, convoys moving toward staging areas, and an entire country mobilizing for war sends a strong message both to allies and to adversaries. This visual side of the mobilization is designed to reassure citizens, while warning opponents of the scale of force Israel is willing to commit. Inside, the reality is very different and much more complex. Mobilizing such a massive number of reservists requires careful organization, planning, and logistics. It means pulling people from their everyday lives, businesses, studies, and families, and reintegrating them into a military system where they must train, adapt, and prepare for immediate deployment. The interior side is short but crucial. It shows how the system behind the scenes has to scale up rapidly to provide weapons, equipment, transport, food, and medical support to tens of thousands of additional troops. This is not a simple call-up. It is a major test of the infrastructure and the ability to coordinate under pressure. Performance is where the true test begins. The reservists are not being called just to stand guard, but to operate in the heart of Gaza City, which is a densely populated and heavily fortified urban battlefield. Performance here means maintaining stamina, discipline, and effectiveness in an environment filled with challenges such as tunnels, ambushes, booby traps, and asymmetric warfare. Israel expects that, by adding these tens of thousands of soldiers, it can sustain momentum, rotate fresh troops, and hold territory for longer periods, without exhausting the standing forces. In performance terms, this mobilization is designed to give the army depth and endurance, which are critical for a drawn-out campaign. The outcome will reveal whether the additional manpower can translate into real battlefield advantage. Safety features in this context revolve around protecting soldiers and minimizing civilian harm. For the troops, safety comes from advanced armor, protective gear, medical evacuation protocols, and technological support such as drones and surveillance systems. For civilians, safety features are much harder to guarantee. Humanitarian corridors, evacuation planning, and attempts to minimize collateral damage are all discussed, but in urban warfare these are extremely difficult to maintain. Safety is supposed to reduce casualties. Yet the reality often proves more complicated when fighting takes place in narrow streets and densely packed neighborhoods. The scale of the mobilization suggests that commanders are aware of the risks. But it also raises questions about whether safety can truly be maintained under such conditions. What makes this call-up unique is Israel's system of reservists itself. Few countries in the world can mobilize tens of thousands of trained personnel almost instantly. This is the unique selling point of Israel's defense structure. It has a large pool of citizens who are trained, registered, and ready to be recalled whenever needed. This system provides flexibility and resilience, allowing Israel to expand its military presence quickly and sustain prolonged campaigns. It also acts as a psychological tool, showing both Israelis and adversaries that the nation has manpower reserves that can be tapped repeatedly, ensuring that operations do not grind to a halt because of manpower shortages. But every decision comes with a price, and in this case, the costs are very high. Financially, pulling 60,000 people from civilian life disrupts the economy, businesses, and families, while the government must pour resources into equipping and sustaining them. Politically, the move draws international attention and criticism. especially from humanitarian groups that fear the consequences of expanded ground operations in a densely populated city. Most importantly, the human cost is unavoidable. Soldiers are put in harm's way, families are left behind. And civilians in Gaza face the consequences of intensified combat. The price is not just money, but lives, reputations, and future stability. In conclusion, the announcement that 60,000 reservists will be mobilized for the Gaza City operation marks a turning point in the conflict. From the exterior, it shows a display of determination and strength. It reveals a massive logistical effort to adapt the system. In terms of performance, it aims to provide endurance and capability in one of the hardest battlefields. And in safety, it highlights the constant struggle to protect lives on both sides. The unique feature of Israel's system is its ability to mobilize so many trained individuals so quickly, but the price is heavy, measured in economic strain, political fallout, and human suffering. This decision signals that the conflict is entering a new and critical stage, one that will test not only Israel's military, but also its society, economy, and international standing in the days and weeks ahead.